jij gaat doen en ik ga verder.
Ja. So it's not the end of life as we know it.
But it was this close.
Calm waters, blue sky, boat still floating.
Look at that. And it hasn't even been varnished yet.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Sailing Exodos. It's taken me a while to make this new episode because we had so much work. I was so tired that I didn't have the energy to also make another video. So that's also the reason that's a long one, but enjoy it. Stress factors are high over here, although new raisin buns, love them. But stress factors are not about the raisin buns, it's about me and electricity. I don't know much about electricity and I have to connect the heater with 12 volt. For some of you that may be a piece of cake, but for me that's higher maths or rocket science. So I gotta puzzle and think hard. Gives me a headache. Anyway, so these are the fuses. This is the plus and minus for the 12 volt. And I need to bring it from over there somewhere, underneath here, through this hole. But this hole is too small. This is the little remote control that's gonna be here. So it's going through this hole, then zip, and then to the heater. So this is going to be the exhaust, copper pipe, 28 millimeters. I bought 3 meter length. By the way, it's beautiful weather. Calm waters, blue sky, boat still floating. Can't wait till we can start sailing. Not the first time. Oh man. This is also first time for me. Hard soldering. Never done it before. I just tried a little piece. I already tested if it's airtight. So I think it went well. I'm gonna preheat the pipe. So when I heat this from the outside, it's gonna take less time. I hope, I think, I guess. So don't see this as a tutorial. Don't try this at home. Doesn't look really professional. So now the really professional test. Airtight. Yeah? Thank you very much, Pia.
Okay.
So officially the muffler must be like this. When I place it like that, there's no room to lead the exhaust to the muffler. Ja, dat is ook wel. Het is nog zo ver weg of zo. Like I said earlier, I have nice insulation for the first part of the exhaust of the heater, but that's all I have. So I needed to think of something else, and this is the something else. This can withstand 1250 degrees Celsius, and I found aluminum tape. Okay, it's ready. You're allowed to laugh once. Look. I also used a lot of aluminium foil to do the muffler and taped it up with the aluminium tape. Hope this works. You know what's stupid? When you closed off everything with aluminum tape and then realize that you still have to tighten one bolt. So it's not the end of life as we know it.
But it was this close.
The air intake I'm just gonna screw into the back of the cupboard. It doesn't actually matter where it goes, as long as there's enough air. These need to be connected to the batteries. Here are the fuses, and this long cable goes to the pump itself. And that's a Greek fishing boat which plays Greek, Turkish kind of music. Absolutely not related to the heater, but it is fun anyway. And this is where the 12 volt needs to come from. I changed my mind. I'm not gonna do it over there, because this is where all the switches and the fuses are going to be, so I'd rather put it over here. I need to find a little hole to the other side of the boat. With the help of Anja, I got it over here. Let's see if we can find it over here. Yes. I'm finding the edges off, otherwise there's always a possibility when the boat moves against the cable that it's going to cut at a given moment. What's the problem, my love?
Ik zit een beetje, want eigenlijk moet ik dit helemaal ontsmetten. En dan
Ontsmetten?
Ja, met ammoniak.
Oh, oké. Ontvetten bedoel je?
Ontvetten bedoel ik. Ja. Ontvetten met ammoniak. En dan ga ik het schuren. Maar als ik natuurlijk vlees ga bakken, dan wordt alles weer vet. En dan ga ik de hele keuken gelijk in de ammoniak en schuren.
Oké.
En primeren.
Ja.
En de eerste slag verf als ik dat nog red vandaag. En eigenlijk moet dat even geschuurd worden.
Ja, en die ook daar. Heel die muur moet ook geschuurd worden.
Ja, we kunnen gewoon de keuken een dag niet gebruiken. Minstens. Denk
Nou, dan kunnen we dat beter morgen doen. Dan gaan we morgen pizza halen.
Ik heb gewoon helemaal niks aan jou. Echt helemaal niks.
Ja.
Nou, jij gaat doen en ik ga verven.
Ja. Dat gaat.
Dag. Kijk, kijk.
Oeh, lekker.
Vitamintjes.
I am so hungry. So I'm doing the last thing before I'm gonna close the cupboard, because it's easier to work with this cupboard open. Last thing I do now is connecting the fuel line. There's one stupid thing. The fuel in is so close to the air intake, and I even used another clamp because the original one is way thicker, and still I cannot get the clamp for the fuel line in between those two. Totally ridiculous, and I want to solve it without speaking loud. And yes, I did it without loud talking, without breaking anything. Cable for the controller. And that's going to be on that side of the cupboard. The reason I put it over there and not somewhere on the wall the other side is I think this is the good height for the sensor, because the sensor is in the controller and it senses actually the temperature at the height that we are sitting when we sit on the bench on the settee. So I think that's the right place to put it. Oh, so just to show you that having a boat is not all about laying in a nice bay and drinking from a coconut. Chores need to be done, and this is one of them. Because we can't use one of the engines at the moment, we cannot get water at the tap. There's just one tap in the whole marina. So I need to get it with those buckets. So that's what I'm gonna do. So that was about 50 to 20 liters per bucket, and this one tank, the only tank we use now because that's the only one that's waterproof, is about 300 liters. So I'm busy for a while. Another part of the ceiling removed, also looks good. There's no humidity, it's just dry as the Atacama Desert. This is from the solar panels, by the way, which I think we have to remove. They're brown, they look burned. I have to measure if they still give some power. So what's going on over here? Some boat extension. I really can't think about one reason why this is necessary. Woman, what are you doing? This is the reason. So why?
Dan verf ik makkelijker.
So we're almost ready with installing the ceiling in the cabin. Look, it's going to be quite wide, and putting insulation underneath it. So the Greek sun can start burning. And Anja is doing the last few doors of the kitchen. Very professional, as you can see, with a kitchen knife. So this was just too much for my normal sander, so now I use the angle grinder with a flappy sandpaper thing on it. As you can see, it's snowing over here. Yep, more work. It's always more work, there's never less work. It's part of the deal. As long as the end result is a beautiful boat, I'm okay with it. We're doing a new project today, and that is this. This, dear ladies and gentlemen, is Tinio. It's kind of an Indonesian apple tree, and it's veneer. I don't know how thin it is, but it is beautiful. We're gonna apply this to the kitchen. We're gonna try to place it first over there and over there. And we are really looking forward to do this because everything is becoming more beautiful and so nice to see. I need to be careful though, because this is already painted. So we applied the glue with this, and now Anja is rolling it out to have a very smooth glue surface, so we don't get bubbles on the veneer. This is totally scary. We just have maybe 1/10 of a millimeter around the veneer, so it is scary. We waited for approximately 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and it feels quite dry, so we're just gonna try it.
Prima.
Ja, toch?
Ja, prima. Nee, prima hoor.
Mooi hè?
Ja, mooi. Ja, heel mooi. Yes.
Tada! We are so happy. Look at that. And it hasn't even been varnished yet. Okay, new project. Oh, not that. Actually, that's also a project. What I did was I took a Bible and I removed all things that weren't there originally. So verses, chapters, divisions between parts of chapters, because it's all added afterwards. And I can tell you, it's very refreshing to read it that way. If you're a believer or not, try it. So, but this is the new project that we're gonna lengthen the table or put a new table over here to have more room. And this, I'm gonna remove the edges and cut it off here, and then I'm gonna close this up because this is gonna go away. Don't need that. This is going to go away. The only thing we need, the cover of the water tank. So we're gonna close this up with multiplex 12mm, and on here we're gonna do the same stuff as we do in the kitchen, which is beautiful. Did I already tell you that I love my oscillating tool? Well, I love my oscillating tool, and I use it for everything, even for a good haircut. That was a lie. I think it's not the first time I say it, but once you start working at something, this is the overflow of the water tank. I made this to get air into the tank because the tank was making loud noises, which was no problem. We heard, but I think it was a problem. So solve that with this. But this needs to go to the other side, and then we have the old hoses to and from the heat exchanger. So this needs to go to the other side too. This is the overflow. It's going under the floor through the through hole in the water. Photobomb, video bomb. What are you doing?
Latjes opmeten.
Oh, okay.
Ja.
Go away, woman. I'm working.
I'm working too.
Yeah, I know. Love you anyway. This goes to the other side, and this is going to be replaced by an air inlet water lock thingy kind of thing. Water goes in here. This is the overflow. That is where the water is coming from to the pump. And here the inspection hatch. So I just need a little hatch over here and then it's okay. There's a hot water pressure valve. When the pressure is going to be too high, it flushes it through this valve, through the hose, in here, and that one goes to the through hole. Not too much room, so it doesn't matter if this thing is upright or down because it's just water coming out, not air. Actually, I don't really need this because there's no pressure system here. It's just overflow. But you never know, just to be sure. I don't want to have leakages here. And the last thing I'm going to connect is this air inlet valve. It's just that we don't get any vacuum in the water tank. When we bought the boat, when you open the faucet, after a minute or something, you got a huge bang. That was because the water tank was collapsing a little bit. So this does the trick. Believe me. No drops. Looks like it is waterproof. Nice. Wordt mooi.
Ja, zeker. Spul verf prettig.
Little shower hatch update. Look. This is what we made for this. The strange shape is because the shower cabin is very small. The hatch is just too big for the shower head. But this is the original opening in the deck. I'll show you. Look, this is the original deck. It could be that this has been a smaller hatch and that they cut this out later. Thing is, I have to rebuild this. So this was the solution. So that's it for now. If you want to see more of this, if you want to see more of us, then please subscribe and maybe push the bell button, give us a thumbs up, and see you next episode. Ciao.